I'm Kaylin, and welcome to the May 1st edition of BCA Today, where we report on school, local, national, and international news. Without further ado, let's get started. To start off, BCA will be hosting its annual Senior Commitment Day luncheon. Are you interested in pursuing a career in business? After school today, BCA will be hosting its annual Women's in Business Conference. Starting off with local news, Resorts World New York City has officially opened live table games, becoming its first full-scale casino in New York City. The expansion adds over 200 games like blackjack and roulette, bringing a Las Vegas-style experience to Queens and creating more than 1,000 jobs. Also in New York, electronic air taxis are beginning to test flights in Manhattan, offering a faster rate report at reach nearby airports. The new service aims to cut travel time significantly by flying passengers over traffic through its still early rollout stages. Now to Samantha for an interview with FFA state champions.
This past Wednesday, FFA members took part in a research competition called Agri-Science Fair, located at Rutgers University. Junior Aakrithi Ram was in the Animal Sciences division, while Junior Claire Shi was in Power, Structural, and Technical Systems category. Both students won first in state in their respective categories and are here with us to talk about their competitions, along with all things FFA. Hi, Aakrithi and Claire, thank you so much for joining us and congratulations. First of all, what is FFA?
So FFA is a national nonprofit career and technical organization that mainly focuses on environmental and agricultural sciences, but also integrated in a variety of other areas like marketing and business. In terms of the competitions that FFA holds, we attend career leadership events, career development events, leadership development events, and also the Agri-Science Fair, as we mentioned. And personally, I think that the Agri-Science Fair is a great platform for students to start presenting their research, as there are so many categories that align with so many of the academies here at BCA, so many different students are able to present their research based on what they're interested in.
And how did you guys both get involved with FFA? And Claire, as the president, can you share your experience pursuing and stepping into a leadership role within the club?
So for me personally, and I think for Claire as well, both of us got interested in FFA when we took our freshman year biology class in the greenhouse with Mrs. Gomes. And it was there that we were first exposed to some of the hands-on techniques required of FFA members, such as caring for plants, learning how to use hydroponic systems, etc. And I think from there we both decided to pursue research in agri-science, and from there it kind of took off as we both started developing our own research projects, as well as competing in career and leadership development events, as Claire mentioned.
Yeah, personally, I really enjoyed the environment that the greenhouse brings, and also Mrs. Gomes' enthusiasm in promoting FFA really inspired me to join. And after joining in the beginning of my sophomore year, it quickly became the highlight of my week, and I really liked the experiences that it brought and just the comfort that it brought in exploring my own interests. And I think I ran for president mainly because I wanted to be able to share this experience with other students and kind of promote FFA as a whole.
And as mentioned, you guys competed in different categories at the Agri-Science Fair. So can you each explain your respective divisions and what they encompass?
Yes. So Agri-Science Fair has 6 different divisions. There are different divisions per age group, so the middle school division, and then the freshman sophomore division, and then the junior and senior division. Claire and I both competed in the junior and senior division, Division 5, and I competed in the animal science division, which is basically anything to do with animal science, as the name suggests. So that could be anything from raising animals to modifying animals, breeding animals, etc.
Yeah, and I competed in Division 5 of the Power, Structural, and Technical Systems, basically just focusing on a lot of engineering principles, which is kind of what my research was focused on. And then last year I also competed in Division 3 of the Environmental Services and Natural Resources System.
And what specifically did you guys research and present in your competition?
So for me personally, I was looking at the impacts of pesticides, specifically pesticides containing glyphosate, an active ingredient, and also a known carcinogen, and how that impacts the species in the environment around the intended organism for the pesticide. So for example, we spray pesticides to kill off the animals that eat the crops, but there are plenty of other organisms in the environment that end up getting impacted by that. So my research was focusing on how glyphosate can actually deteriorate the DNA of those organisms. I specifically looked at butterflies as they're a key pollinator and a key species.
So my research focused on two main problems. First, the problem of marine oil spills that affect marine ecosystems, and then second, the problem that our main form of remediation is through using polypropylene synthetic sorbents, which are in itself a petroleum-derived plastic polymer that's harmful to the environment as well. So for my solution, I developed my own sustainable biodegradable bioplastic derived from alginate, which is a seaweed-derived material, but also because alginate is itself a naturally more a material that's more attracted to water than oil, I modified the surface so that it's a better oil-absorbent material.
And while FFA does offer competitions in things like business and marketing, the BCA chapter really focuses on agri-science, and can you explain why this is?
I think BCA offers a lot of opportunities for business and marketing, like DECA, FBLA, etc. And I think that what's unique about FFA is that it offers a pathway for students who really want to pursue agri-science or environmental science studies. And it gives us an opportunity to further develop our skills through career development events and leadership development events that are kind of niche to agri-science. But it also gives us the opportunity to compete against other students in New Jersey and then eventually across the nation who are also interested in the same and similar topics.
And FFA is not solely focused on competitions, so what are some other events and activities that students who are part of the club can participate in?
Yeah, so at FFA we do a lot of other hands-on activities. We do a lot of work in the greenhouse, and we also grow a lot of plants, which we later sell in a lot of our fundraisers and other events. And along with that, every year we also participate in state and national conventions, where we're able to present our research, meet other students, participate in delegate meetings, and explore other career opportunities.
Finally, do you guys have anything to say to students who are watching who may want to get involved in FFA in the future?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, and even if you're not super interested in agri-science or environmental science, it's a good thing to get out of your comfort zone. And even if you're just a little bit interested in research or you want to try something new, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to Mrs. Gomes or one of our officers to learn more.
Thank you guys so much, and once again, congratulations. Now back to Kaylin for national news.
Moving to national news, severe storms across the Midwest have caused widespread damage, including hail, strong winds, and at least one deadly tornado. Homes were destroyed, and millions of residents remain under weather alerts as cleanup and recovery continue. In lighter news, a rare two-colored lobster was found off Cape Cod and donated to a local aquarium. The lobster's unusual split coloring makes it extremely rare, drawing attention from marine experts and visitors alike. Now we go back to Sam, who is speaking with students from DECA.
Earlier this week, students from BCA's DECA chapter traveled to Atlanta, Georgia to compete in various competitions at the International Career Development Conference. Several students placed, including our guests here today. Joining us are Emily Tong, a junior who placed second in marketing communications, as well as Mia Bahram, a junior who placed first internationally in financial consulting. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and congratulations on placing. First of all, what is DECA, and how long have you guys been involved with the club?
Absolutely. So DECA stands for Distributive Educational Clubs of America, and essentially focuses on cultivating business knowledge within high school students. So there are 4 primary clusters for events: entrepreneurship, marketing, finance, and hospitality and tourism. So I myself participated in marketing, and Mia participated in finance.
Yeah, and then there are 3 different rounds of competitions. First is the regional level, where we competed in January, which was held at Rampell College. And then if you're the top 16 in that event, then you went on to Atlantic City, which was the state level, which was held in March. And then if you're a top 8 there in whatever event you did, then you went on to the international competition, which was held in Atlanta, Georgia this year.
And before we continue on with this interview, we do have some photos that you guys sent, if you don't mind just explaining them as they are shown.
Yeah, so this is a photo of me and 2 of my friends who also competed. So on the left is Grace. She competed in her financial literacy project. In the middle is Kana, who is a top 20 finalist in financial services team decision making, and on the right is me.
And then here is a picture of our whole chapter. We have 35 competitors compete this year at ICGC, which was amazing.
This was the Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the awards ceremonies were held.
And Emily, you competed in marketing communications as mentioned, which is a series event. So can you explain what that means as well as your journey from choosing this event to winning second?
Absolutely. So marketing communications is in the marketing cluster, which means it's an individual event. So you get 10 minutes to look at a case study and prepare a solution. For example, my preliminary event centered around a energy drink company wanting to expand to an older demographic. So you had to present a promotional campaign to the judge. You present to the judge for 10 minutes, and then in regards to ICDC, you first have to take a 100-question multiple choice test. This was on Sunday, and then you have 2 prelim role plays, which was on Monday, and then Tuesday, results for top 20 were announced, and then I participated in a finals role play for that, which was the same deal. And then later that night on Tuesday, the grand awards were announced, and I got second. In regards to my journey in DECA, so I've been in DECA since my freshman year, because in ABF it's pretty much a tradition. But my freshman year, I did not participate in marketing communications. My sophomore year, regionally, I placed first, and then states, I placed 7th. That year, I did not compete at ICDC for marketing communications. This year, I placed first in regionals, and then I actually didn't place at all in states, and I got bubbled up, which I guess should be encouraging to people who feel like they maybe didn't do as well as they think they should. And then this year, I got second, which was really incredible.
And Mia, you won your competition, financial consulting. Can you explain what this competition is and how you prepared for it?
Yeah. So my event, financial consulting, was also an individual event like Emily's, but it was a little bit different because Emily's, you don't know the prompt until you get there, but mine, I had already known the prompt and created a presentation for it ahead of time, and it was the same prompt for both the regional, state, and international competitions. So I made my original presentation before the regional level, which was back in December. And since then, I was studying for the test because the first day when we got to ICDC, or the first day of competition, we took the 100-question multiple choice exam, and mine was in finance since my event is in financial consulting. And then the following day was the prelims for the event. So my event, the prompt this year was helping an artist with their small business. So I was giving them my different recommendations and strategies to help their business grow. So I created the slideshow and presented it in the prelims, and then the following morning, we were announced that we were in the top 20, so a few hours later we went and did the final presentation, and then that night we figured out that we were in the top 10 and went up to stage, and then I was announced as first, and I was really surprised.
And other than competing, what else is DECA involved in?
So yeah, there's a lot more than just competing involved in DECA. One is you are able to just meet a lot of different students. For example, at the New Jersey State Competition, I was able to meet a lot of other people from New Jersey, as well as see a lot of my old friends that I haven't seen in a while. So that was really nice just to meet a lot of people who are also interested in business and finance specifically, and yeah.
So beyond the networking part that Mia already mentioned, at ICDC there's a particular trend where each state and chapter sometimes has their own pins, and there's a lot of pin trading that goes on at DECA. So some people will have lanyards just full of pins. I know some students from our own chapter are very invested in it. And actually this year, a student in the BCA DECA chapter, Sophia Yang, made the pin that was used to represent NJ DECA.
And finally, do you guys have any advice for students watching on how to perform well in their respective competitions in the future?
Yeah, I think as some general advice, almost always the amount of work you put in consistently is going to translate well in regards to competitions. Obviously there's going to be a factor of luck, but for me personally, since I think March, I spent around an hour a day studying, and that clearly has results. So it's a lot about consistency, and it's a lot about just putting in the work. For marketing specifically, I'd recommend looking at just like how you can be creative and differentiate yourself from the competition.
And I would also say, just to keep yourself motivated and keep pushing forward, because from my personal experience in my freshman year, I didn't qualify for states, and in my sophomore year I didn't even final at states, and then this year I got first internationally. So I think that just shows like it doesn't really matter how much like what you did in the past and your success, or if you didn't have success in the past, you could still do like really great things in the future. And also I would say it's important to be confident in your own presentation. and to not really worry about like what people around you are doing. Like in the beginning of the year, people would tell me I had to do like specific things in my presentation in order to do well, but that wasn't really the case. I think just keep your eyes on like what you're doing on yourself, and also be sure not to be like too nervous about it. I think it's a lot easier to present when you're not as nervous and you're more confident in what you're saying.
Thank you guys so much, and congratulations once again. And now back to Kaylin for international news.
In international news, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries is facing a shift as the United Arab Emirates plans to leave the group to focus on its own national energy strategy. Experts say the move is unlikely to significantly disrupt global oil markets despite ongoing regional tensions. And in Japan, airlines are testing humanoid robots to help handle baggage at airport companies like Japan Airlines and exploring automation to address labor shortages and improve efficiency in airport operations. That's all for today. I'm Kaylin.
And I'm Sam. Thank you so much for joining us for the May 1st edition of BCA Today. We'll see you next week.